It seriously looks like a work of art, doesn't it? Perfectly sculpted and symmetrical.
Right? I mean, what's the deal? Why are some smiles just perfectly straight, while others, well, they've got crowding or gaps or teeth that seem to have a mind of their own? Is it really all just random chance?
Well, here's the thing. It's not luck. Not at all. The truth is, a smile is basically a feat of engineering, a really complex and honestly a fascinating one. Every single part of it is governed by some pretty serious structural principles.
So, to really get this, let's think of it like we're building a house from the ground up. A perfectly aligned smile is like a perfectly constructed home. And that's our building plan for today. We're going to start with the foundation. That's the jaws. Then we'll put up the walls, the muscles. After that, we'll bring in the furniture. Yep, the teeth. And finally, we'll add the finishing touches, our habits.
All right, let's jump right in. Any good builder will tell you it all starts with a solid foundation. And for our smile, that foundation is our bone structure, specifically our upper and lower jaws. Their size, their shape, how they line up, all of that sets the stage for literally everything else.
So, what's the dream scenario? Well, it's what orthodontists call a class I relationship. This is the gold standard. It's where the upper and lower jaws are just perfectly proportioned and balanced. Think of it like a foundation that's been measured and poured with absolute precision. When you start with a base that's solid, you can bet the rest of the job is going to be a whole lot easier.
But of course, not every foundation is poured perfectly, and that's where you get what are called foundational flaws. For example, with a class 2, the lower jaw is set too far back. So using our house analogy, it's like the first floor is kind of pushed in, which makes the top floor look like it's sticking out. Then you have the opposite, a class 3. Here, the lower jaw is too far forward. Imagine the first floor of the house jutting way out past the second floor. That's what creates an underbite.
Okay, so we've got our foundation poured. What's next? Time to put up the walls. Now, in our smile house, the walls aren't wood and drywall. Nope, they're muscles. And these muscles are the powerful forces that basically contain and shape the whole dental arch.
And you really got to get this next part because it's key. Every single tooth in your mouth is living in this constant state of tension. It's not just sitting there peacefully. It's more like a silent war zone, caught in a constant push and pull between two major forces. So what are these forces? Well, from the inside, you've got this super powerful muscle, the tongue, and it's always pushing everything outwards. But then, from the outside, you've got this constant gentle pressure from your cheeks and lips, and they're always pushing inwards. It's a constant battle. Now, when those two forces, the push from the tongue and the push from the cheeks, are perfectly balanced, you get this amazing thing called the neutral zone. It's the sweet spot. It's that area of perfect equilibrium where everything just cancels out. And that, right there, is the peaceful little neighborhood where teeth can settle in and line up perfectly. So, what happens if that balance gets thrown off? Say the tongue is way stronger or the cheeks are a bit weaker. Well, then the walls of our house can start to collapse inward or even bulge outward. And that leads to a problem called a crossbite, where the top and bottom teeth just don't meet up the way they should. All right, foundation's down, walls are up. It's time to furnish this house. And what's the furniture? You guessed it, it's the teeth themselves. But this brings up a whole new problem, a really important question. Is all our furniture actually going to fit inside the room we just built? It really all boils down to a super simple equation. Step 1, you figure out the size of your furniture. That is, the total width of all your teeth put together.
Step 2, you compare that number to the size of the room, which is the amount of space you have in your jaw's arch. And from that simple math, you get one of two results. If your furniture is too big for the room, meaning your teeth are just too wide for your jaw, you get crowding. There's nowhere for them to go, so they start to pile up and get all twisted. On the other hand, if your furniture is too small for the room, well, you get the exact opposite problem. Spacing. You end up with all these big empty gaps. Okay, so our house is built, the furniture's in, we're almost there, but there's one last crucial step. Think of it as the interior design, the finishing touches. And these are the little habits that, over time, can actually change the entire look of the place. So who are these interior decorators? Well, a lot of them are habits, often from when we were kids. We're talking about things like thumb sucking, or maybe a tongue thrust where you push your tongue against your teeth every time you swallow. It can even be tiny anatomical quirks, like a bit of tissue between the front teeth that acts like a wedge and keeps them apart. And here's the takeaway. These things might seem small, right? But these repetitive actions apply a constant, gentle pressure. And over many, many years, that pressure is totally enough to tilt teeth out of place. It can even create something called an open bite, where your front teeth don't touch at all. It's literally like the front doors of your house just won't close anymore. So you see, a great smile isn't about luck, it's architecture. It's this incredible combination of your jaw's foundation, the balance of your muscle walls, the size of your teeth furniture, and all those little finishing touches from your habits. And now that you know the blueprint, doesn't it make you look at the architecture of your own smile a little differently?